All right. It looks like I am live. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, for joining. I wanted to just come on here today and talk about a Kundalini experience. And so I want to share what is Kundalini and also some tips and tools to let you know what happens when you have a Kundalini awakening experience. So, we're talking about Kundalini today. So I'm super excited to be here before you because I haven't been live in, I think it's been a few weeks. We were supposed to go live on TikTok for a Sunday service with the Morrisons, but we missed Sunday because we were exhausted. We both worked and we just couldn't make that happen. So I've committed to fixing that problem and actually doing more live streams. And so today I am doing, today I'm talking about Kundalini awakening because that hit me, as a matter of fact, a few days ago. I felt mine. And so when I felt it and when I realized what it was, I thought, let me come on here and share it with my people. Thank you so much for the likes. I appreciate it. So right now I'm going to get into it because I'm not going to be before you long, but I wanted to just come and share this bit of knowledge because I know that there are a lot of people that are looking to understand this. And so right now we're going to talk a little bit about a Kundalini awakening. So typically when people have awakenings, it is a shifting that happens within your body. It happens within your bodies. It actually goes as deep as your cells and your nervous system. Kundalini awakening is a fascinating and transformative process that involves activation of dormant energy at the base of your spine. So typically it involves your root chakra. So when your root chakra is activated, it is said that you are having a Kundalini awakening. And so as the energy rises, it can lead to profound changes in both your physical and your spiritual realms. I have some common signs associated with a Kundalini awakening experience. And so, what I wanted to do was, I want to share a little bit about the experience that I had, and then I'm going to go into covering these 10 signs of a Kundalini awakening experience, some of the things that are the most common signs. Now, these are not all inclusive, so there are probably and there could be more signs and more things, and I'll actually share some of the things that happened with me, but most of the things that did happen to me were the things that I'm going to talk about today. So let's get into it. So for me, I had this experience. What I do typically is I lay down and I meditate um, every day. I meditate every day, usually a few times a day. I typically meditate before I get out of the bed. And if you know me or you're in my space, and like if you call me or text me or something, I say, I got to meditate and then I'll get back to you. Because my goal is to try to spend some time with myself, with my spirit team, with God, with the universe, with source, with my archangels and my guides and ancestors and gods and deities and goddesses and people that are in my spiritual team. And so I'll do another video actually talking about the spiritual team because that's something that people have been asking me and that's something that I want to share. And so I take that time, and that time is precious to me. So almost regardless of any time, I do try to incorporate it into my day as well. And I also meditate and I visualize before I go to sleep. I have some things that I want and that I desire and that I know that are mine. So I visualize having the things that I desire before I go to sleep. And that is one of those Neville Goddard techniques that I have been using. And it is an amazing thing. It makes you feel good. And it also brings your manifestations to you even quicker. So with the Kundalini awakening experience. So what happened with me is I was laying in my bed and I was meditating, and some of my meditations are probably different than others because in my meditations I include prayer. It's to me it's all one session for myself, if you will. And so I include prayer and I start talking, to God, and then I allow the source, God, universe to speak to me. I have a dialogue. And so I was in my bed having this dialogue with, my team, and actually asking for some different types of guidance and different things that, that I'm dealing with in my life. And then also, how to bring these messages that are flowing through me, the messages that are coming through me, the messages that I am channeling, how to bring it forward so that people understand it. Because many times, we'll get these messages, and I say we, and I mean spiritual teachers and people that are called to mentor in the spirituality realm will get these messages, but we won't often understand how to present them so that people can understand them, because they come to us in the way that we understand. And all the time, it's not that other people can understand the way that you understand. And so you have to, it's almost like translating it into a language that works for you, or a language that works for others. Because you may get it in one way, but it may not be a way that you can actually give it to other people. And so that is another thing that I speak to my spirit team about, is that type of stuff. And so this particular day, and this was a few days ago, and so I was laying in my bed having this experience, and I felt this because I had already asked God to send me, show me some things, and to deepen my relationship, because that is always a thing that I desire to do. Now, that's not what everybody's asking for. Some people are asking for money and different things, but I truly believe that the money is already here once you shift into the place where you can receive it. And so that is the place that I'm at. And so I was, speaking to my team, and all of a sudden I started feeling this heat that hit me. And it just came on me from nowhere. And it's not hot. Matter of fact, right now it is 48 degrees in my state that I live in, the place where I live. I think that day it was nighttime, so it was probably going into the low 40s or the 30s. So it was cold. And my upstairs bedroom actually is a little warmer than the rest of the house, just because it's upstairs and hot air rises. No, no rocket science, no physics. That's just how that works. Hot air rises. And so it was a little warm, but it wasn't that hot where I should be feeling the heat that I felt. And so I knew immediately that it was energy that was flowing through me. And so as this energy began to flow through me, and as I began to feel it in all of the areas, and it did start at my spine, and I felt this heat, and I felt this tingling. And then I started getting instructions from the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit told me to use my hands, because my hands were so hot, to use my hands and to anoint each one of my chakras. So I began to anoint my crown chakra, and my third eye, and my throat chakra. And I just put my hands on each one of those spaces, and I felt the heat go inside of me, because although it already was a heat that was inside of me that I felt, and it was almost like I have had hot flashes in the past, and it felt like I was standing in a fire. And that was very similar to what it felt like, but it was different, because there was tingling that was involved, and then the heat was moving, throughout my body. I could feel it moving throughout each one of those chakras. I could feel it in my legs and my feet and my hands, in my head and everywhere. And then I had this intense feeling of satisfaction. I had this feeling that, everything in my life was going to be all right, because I was at a space where I've been dealing with some health issues after the COVID. And, just getting a chance to talk to a physician that actually understood and could hear what I was saying and could see me, because that really is what we need sometimes, is for somebody to see us. And so in order to do that, I had to go through some different changes in my life in order to do it. I had to get a naturopath to communicate with my primary doctor so she could get off her behind and actually order some things to see what actually was going on with me, instead of just dismissing things just based off of simple lab tests. And so I got her to go deeper so that we could actually try to understand what was going on. And in that process, I also was discovering my kundalini, and discovering the healing properties within my body within itself, and also learning how to use those to heal myself. And so, because I know that our bodies are designed to heal itself. And so, I'm not talking about that today, but I want to get back onto the Kundalini. And so, as this thing started happening for me, I felt this just intense feeling of satisfaction and love and peace. And I felt like Jesus was wrapping his arms around me, and I felt like Archangel Michael, like they were enveloping me like a sandwich, just wrapping their arms around me and showing me love. Talking about Kundalini today, so I'm super excited. Which was something that I needed. Hold on, y'all. Let me get back over here. So this is part 2 on Kundalini. So as I began to really feel all of this energy flowing through me, and I could feel it in my heart, and I had been having palpitations and some chest pain, different things happening. I mean, just crazy stuff. And y'all, I am 55 years old, so I could not understand, because I've never been really sick. I mean, I've had a few different things. I had a couple babies, had C-sections, different things. I had surgeries like that, had my gallbladder out, had a hysterectomy. So I think all in all, I've had about 5 surgeries in my life, and most of them were, female, or like I said, the gallbladder. So, I never really had any major issues. Like, I'm not diabetic, I'm not, hypertensive, any of those things. I don't take meds on a regular basis. I have some meds that I take for like pain, but I don't take them unless I really, really, really can't figure out a way to get beyond it, normally or naturally, or through, connecting with my breath, and, running energy through my body, and different things and tools and stuff, tips that I have. Thank you so much for joining, baby. So I wanted to just wanted to get to this space where, I was feeling good. And so that's a place that I was desperately seeking. And so when I had this Kundalini experience, it was like, oh my God. And I know that many other people have had it, but for me, it was life changing. And so now I'm going to go over some of the signs of a Kundalini awakening that I'm going to share with you, that I found in my research. And so some of the signs are intense energy in the spine area. And so that was something that I actually experienced, intense energy in my spine area. Many people notice an initial surge of intense energy in the base of their spine. And so some people have described it as electrical or vibrating, or as if the energy is traveling upward. And that was exactly what I experienced. It was the most amazing feeling that I have had in my entire life. And I could feel that energy just coming up, and it was actually right at the root chakra. So that actually also solidified the studies that I've been doing on the chakra system and how it affects our body. And that's actually another series that I'm going to start as well. Probably in the next week or so, I'm going to start that series on the chakras. I'm going to do it on TikTok, and I'm going to have it on YouTube shorts. And I'll also probably do it in the reels and the stories on Facebook and the other place, Instagram. So, but that's something that I've been thinking of, but I'm so excited because I get validation that what I'm feeling and what I'm learning and what I'm sensing is real, because it happened to me. And so as you dive into these Kundalini awakenings, and you feel that energy traveling, also, number 2 is the heat moving up the spine. Another common symptom is feeling increased energy moving from the base of the spine toward the top of the head. This can create a sensation within the body akin to a gentle boil. So it feels like a boil. And that was exactly what I felt. That was like, oh my God, y'all. So amazing. You can feel, number 3 is tingling sensations. So you can feel tingling sensations throughout your body, along with the heat, pins and needles, prickly feelings, sometimes as if your limbs are going to sleep, like when your hands start feeling like they're going to sleep, or your feet start feeling like they're going to sleep, it kind of feels like that to me. And sometimes it can be really deep, or sometimes it can be really light. Number four is insomnia or sleep disturbances. So sometimes, you can't sleep, and that was exactly what happened to me. I slept for about 3 hours and I was awake. I could not go back to sleep. And so I dove deep into meditation at that time, and I started really having a deeper experience and a deeper connection. But Kundalini awakening can disrupt your sleep patterns. Insomnia or unusual sleep experiences are common during this process. And so this is something that can happen for you. Um, and so don't stress it. So I didn't. I just kind of allowed it, and then when it was time for me to go back to sleep, I went back to sleep. Also, number five is emotional release. So, as the energy rises, emotions may surface. You may find yourself crying or feeling overwhelmed. This emotional release is part of the healing process. So don't try to stop it. Allow yourself to cry if you need to. Allow yourself to feel overwhelmed, and then allow it to move through you. The emotional release is also a part of the healing process. It's something that needs to happen so that you can move forward. Number six is heightened awareness and intuition. So many individuals report increased intuition and a deeper sense of interconnectedness with the universe. Your awareness of subtle energies and spiritual dimensions may expand. So you may, and this is another thing that happened, it starts to open up your spiritual gifts, and your intuition and your awareness begins to expand. If you have desire to be clairvoyant, you desire to have spiritual sight where you can see. Many people have that naturally, and all of us do. But some people are more developed than others with that gift. And so these gifts actually start to open up. Clairaudience sometimes comes in. If you were already claircognizant, sometimes it heightens it. It makes it even better and even more. If you are clairsentient and you feel, which most of us do, and if you are a healer, typically you are clairsentient, whether you know it or not. But you feel everybody's energy. And if you're an empath and you feel everybody's energy, this will also heighten, and it'll also bring more awareness to you. And so, number seven is episodes of increased energy and productivity. So, some people experience bursts of energy and creativity during a Kundalini awakening. These moments can be both invigorating and they also can be challenging. And I felt that as well. I had this thing where I just felt so much energy, which was so amazing and different to me, because that is one of the challenges that I have faced in this last year, is challenges with my energy. My energy, oh my God, it's like it either I have it or I don't. It's like no in between. It's not, I got a little bit. No, it's I don't have none, or I have a whole bunch, and so this is something that I have already been experiencing, but this actually heightened with this experience. And so number eight is feeling out of one's body. So if you are feeling like you are, you know, outside of yourself, watching yourself, this can be also an experience that you have with a Kundalini awakening. A sense of detachment from the physical body or altered states of consciousness can occur. You can feel like you're in another dimension, and I have felt that many, many times. But this was a whole nother experience and a whole nother level of it. You might feel like you're observing yourself from a different perspective. Number nine is mood swings. Fluctuations in mood are common. You may feel elated one moment and deeply introspective the next, and that is okay. You really want to just step into the flow of this and roll with it, and it's all right. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you're bipolar. Actually, we all are. That's another conversation. It's just to what extent. But yeah, so you can, be up and down, and it's okay. You just have to roll with it and flow with it. Number 10 is profound spiritual experiences. Kundalini awakening often leads to spiritual insights, mystical experiences, and a deeper connection to your inner self. And so that part to me was the part that honestly I was seeking. I was seeking profound spiritual experiences because I have my background is Pentecostal holiness religion. And then, of course, there was mega church or two in there, and I call it New Age Pentecostal, where they were non-denominational with a Pentecostal flair, is what I call it. And so that was my experience. And so what I asked the Holy Spirit for at this time is a profound and some profound spiritual experiences to a kundalini awakening, that opened me up to more of the spirit and gave me a connection to not only to God, to universe, to source, but to myself, to know me, not only to know God, the universe source, but also to know me. And so that was the experience that I took home from this kundalini awakening that I had. So this is part 2 on kundalini. So I am super excited to share this with you today. Let me see who's watching. Oh, hi, 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐶. Thank you. And Brian Campbell, I appreciate you today. See, Brian says live. 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐶 says, thank you, Reese, also for joining. Let's see, 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐶 says she's still applying those positive energies to us in the universe. An angel that inspires higher energy vibrations to my psyche. Thank you for teachings, Queen. May many blessings continue to come to you. Love you. 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐶 also says, I've come to peace many times like that, and it wasn't menopause. I've been dealing with bad days. Then I may lay down and feel those energies release. That is exactly it. And it's like, when you come to that place and that knowledge where you decide that it's time. Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you for joining me. 𝐿𝐿𝐼𝐶 says, you're not alone. I have those things happen to you. Your body is responding to you because you are a healer. Our carnal body is not just so much, not so just carnal. You're experiencing the carnal energies. The carnal body receives these signals to you like a check engine light. Sometimes we're guided by our carnal vessel. Don't discredit it for just our vessel for the spiritual side of things. It gives us the abilities to express our spiritual self. It is influenced by our environment. That's why I'm trying to get more organic offerings to myself. That is exactly the key. And that's exactly what, we need to do. And I say it for myself. When I speak not only to you and whoever is watching, but I speak to myself, because I know that that is the journey, and the thing is so many of us are so caught up in all the things that are going on in life that it's hard for us to go on this journey, and to me, it's a journey to not only to the divine, but to ourselves. And so that is what I feel like the Kundalini awakening has done for me. It's been a journey for me to go within and to come home to myself and to understand, because I don't know about anybody else, but I know that this planet is not my home. I know that. I am not from here. It's too crazy. There's too many things going on. It's not my home. But I would appreciate all of you on Facebook watching. If you would join me as well on TikTok, because I'm building over there as well. So right now I'm actually live streaming from YouTube and from Facebook. But I'm just so appreciative of you guys joining me. And I'm appreciative of having this space and this time actually to be able to share this, because I've been thinking about sharing it for the last few days. And God said today is the day. And so today I am sharing all about Kundalini. So if you are coming on the end of this, go back and watch the beginning. I purposely wanted to keep it not really long, because I wanted people to be able to get it in bite-sized chunks, because I know exactly how that is. Because for me, sometimes if there's an hour video or 2 hours or something, I watch it in bite-sized chunks, because it's too long for me to try to, get all of that in my head at the time. As I said, I have been recovering from long COVID for over a year now. And so I'm actually just now getting to a point where I can remember stuff, a little bit more than, 5 seconds, to 2 minutes. I can remember stuff, I can think, and it's been a real journey. It's been a journey because I had never experienced anything like that. And so once I experienced this Kundalini awakening just last week, y'all, not that I have had spiritual awakenings, I have had, been through dark nights of the soul, which, a whole nother video, and I've been through that. I've had, where I just had to make a shift and those things happen. But this was something even deeper and better. And so I thought, let me share this with the people, because this right here is something that if we would experience this, if people would experience this, we would have so much less, death. We would have so much less killings. We'd have so much less mass shootings. We'd have so much less craziness that's happening in our world. And so in order for us to be able to, take those steps, we have to be open to receive and decide that it's time for us to wake the fuck up. It's what it's time for. It's time for us to wake the fuck up. It's time for us to begin to really understand who we are, understand the dynamics of, what we are, and also really begin to open up to the deeper parts of this life, because there's so many surface things and people try to use those to destroy people. And so now it's like, no, we are waking up to the deeper parts. We're waking up to the true living God, the one that lives inside of us, not the one that, we were taught as we were growing up in many of those cults. Not that one, the one that actually truly loves us, the one that lives within us, the one that heals, the one that wants us to be prosperous, the one that wants us to live. So again, I wasn't going to make this long. I appreciate all of you for watching. Thank you for joining me. Definitely follow me on YouTube. I'll be doing more things on there, opening up more discussions, especially about spiritual awakening and different things that go along with that. The chakras is what I've been studying and which I'm going to present now, because that is really hitting me, especially after this Kundalini awakening, because it was like, all of a sudden, I felt this thing, and to be honest with you, I think I have felt it before, but I just did not recognize it. Like years and years ago, like maybe 20 years ago, I remember feeling something that was similar to this. But of course, at that time, I was so deep in religion till, I thought it might have been the devil because that's what they taught us. And everything was the devil. And so, but anyway, but I know now that that is me asking for my connection to God, to the universe, to source, to the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call him, her, or them. It's up to you. But what I call him is God, universe, source, Gus, the Holy Spirit, that lives inside of us. So again, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate all of your time. Y'all make sure y'all have an amazing day of your choosing, and make sure you do that every single day, because that is another thing that I truly believe is helpful in this life, and we all go through a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not ever excluding myself. I've been through a lot of shit in my life, a lot. And I started going through stuff really, really young. And so I've had to, do a lot of healing around a lot of things. And so for me, though, I just really, truly believe, because one day I did ask God, I was in my 20s, and I asked, why did I have to go through stuff? Even though they told us we weren't supposed to question God. That was the other thing. I asked because I didn't give a shit what they said. I said, why did I have to go through so many things in my life so young? That was my question to God. And I didn't care, what the people said. Matter of fact, I don't think I told anybody that I asked that question at that time, that, at the church and the things. But I asked the question. I said, why do I have to go through so many things in my life, especially so young? Because I went through a lot of things young, and that, and let me qualify it. Not, I didn't go through like, I was not abused as a child, as far as, somebody beat the hell out of me and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't that. So I'm not that. It was other things. Most of it for me was internal. And so I asked God, why did I have to go through that? So many things. My first marriage, so many things. And what they told me was that it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. Now, at the time, I really wasn't happy with that explanation because it felt like it was for me. It felt like, it felt like. And so that's another thing that I'm going to be sharing about is when you begin to step into that place where you come up from the root chakra. And once you get that, you begin to get, step into that kundalini energy and you start coming up from the root chakra, then you'll leave I am, even though I am is important and we need to start there. But you'll leave I am and you'll start moving up the scale, and you'll start moving into the I feel and I love and I know and I see. And so when you begin to do that and you begin to frame your affirmations in that way, you begin to start to frame your affirmations. I have started. I see, I feel, I know, I love. And you start framing your affirmations in that way, watch your life begin to change. I'm telling you, I am a living witness. Things have shifted in my life just from doing small things, just from making small incremental shifts, almost like the quanta. And I said that like that because everybody thinks that a quantum leap is a big thing. But quanta is a small, tiny little thing. You can't even see it. So it's an incremental leap. It's an incremental thing that casts a huge glow. So it's something tiny, something small. So you make a small shift, and as you begin to make the small shifts, big things will begin to happen for you. It's like it's almost like when you find a penny. What do? Do you pick it up and just throw it and say, oh, it's just a penny? Or do you pick it up and bless it and thank God for it? Because it's money, and it's money you didn't work for, that just came to you, that flowed to you in your awareness and in your environment. It's so many things that are happening to us that we miss because we're not in that space to receive. We're not open to receive. And so one of the things that I challenge you today is begin to be open to receive. Tell yourself, say these things to yourself out loud if you have to, or in your head, whatever you want to do, but say it to yourself. I'm open to receive. And so you'll begin to receive, and you'll begin to get, your desires, your manifestations, the things that you want. And and again, I'm not just talking about financially and your house and your car and all these things. I'm talking about things on the inside. I'm talking about the spirituality that you seek. I'm talking about the relationship with God, with the universe, with source, with Christ consciousness, the things that you desire on the inside. You'll begin to get them because you're making this incremental, small, little changes. Because it's easier to make the small little changes than to try. It's almost like I used to have a pastor that used to say, what is the easiest way to eat an elephant? One bite at a time, because it's a big animal. So you're going to eat it. You're going to do it one bite at a time. And so that is the same type of thing with this. You start making small incremental changes that you can make, changes that are not going to kill you. You might not want to quit your job. You might just want to go down a little bit. You might want to, instead of working 50 hours, you might want to work 40. Different things. Try things out, and don't be afraid to try things. Also, don't be afraid to fail even. Because I think about myself, I have tried so many businesses, and people pitch me all the time about different businesses. And I say, well, and now I think really hard about it before I jump into it. But before, when I was younger, I knew that there was something that I was supposed to do, and I wasn't supposed to be working for somebody else, that I'm supposed to be working for myself. I knew this. I knew it intuitively, did not know what it looked like for me, but I knew it. So I would try all kinds of things. Like I have sold Herbalife. I have sold, Lord Jesus, what haven't I sold? Amway. I've been part of quite a few multi-level marketing programs, different things. Avon a few times. And so, I have done so many different things. I used to write poetry, and I used to sell my poems. I would print them on a really pretty piece of paper, like especially for like Mother's Day and Father's Day. I sold a lot, and even anniversaries, different things like that, weddings. I would sell them, and I would create the poem, and I would print it off on a pretty piece of paper that I got from the Hallmark store. Now y'all know this was a long time ago because now you can all do all that stuff online. But I went to the Hallmark store and I bought this beautiful paper, and then I went to the Dollar Tree and I bought some cute frames. And so I would print the poems off for people on pretty paper and put it in a cute frame, and I would sell it. So I've done all kinds of different things because I know that that is my destiny. So once you get to that spot in that place where you understand, where you belong and what your destiny is and what it is that you come here for. Now, I'm not saying that that thing will not shift as time goes on, because sometimes things do shift. Sometimes you learn more. Sometimes you decide that looked like something you wanted to do, but you don't really want to do that. And that's okay. I've experienced that many, many times. I have lots of things that I do that I, don't do a whole lot, or I just do a little bit of, or whatever. And I thought maybe it would be a business, but it's not a business because it's not something that I just enjoy to do like that, like on a regular repeat basis. Now, you could say what you want to say, but I'm sure that that is a part of me because I like change. I've always been that way. I don't, I'm not one of these people that, I never saw myself retiring from a job working 40 years for somebody. It just wasn't ever in my vortex. It was never in my awareness. I never thought that. I can stay for, a little while, and I tell people now that, I can stay for a minute. Now I say I'm like a 2-year girl with jobs because I'm like, I can stay about 2 years. And then after that, it'd be time for me to go. And it don't have nothing to do with the place or nothing like that. I just need change. I need variety. I need to see different people. I need to do different things, this kind of stuff. And so, but that's me. That's a whole nother conversation. But today I wanted to just share about that Kundalini experience and how, you can recognize if that is happening for you. And if you need some help with that, if you have had that experience, or you're having that experience, or you think you are, having that experience, reach out to me and let's have a conversation. I do have private sessions that I do. I also just talk to people because people need help. You can also find me if you're watching me on YouTube, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok, which is probably one of the better places. Um, and you can also email me because if you're watching me on YouTube, I think my email's on there. So you can do that. So many different ways that you can connect. And if you are a spiritual entrepreneur, then reach out to me and let's have a conversation on my show, Straight Out of Savannah, where I speak to spiritual entrepreneurs. I've interviewed mediums, psychics, channelers, all kinds of people, and I absolutely love it. Astrologers, numerologists, I absolutely love having those conversations. So if you are interested in coming on my show, and you can listen to it on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. It's everywhere. Amazon Music, iHeart Radio is everywhere. Everywhere that you listen to podcasts, you can listen to mine. Straight Out of Savannah. And also, you can watch it on YouTube because all the episodes, there are probably more episodes on YouTube than there are on Spotify. And on my YouTube channel, I have over 1,000 videos. So there's something for everyone there. So I would love it if you would like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And if there are people that need to hear this information, share this video out. So again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I absolutely love being able to come to you and bring this content. And if there's anything else that you are looking for within a spiritual awakening conversation, make sure that you send me a message or you write a comment. I try to really go back and look at all the comments, but send me a message or share a comment, and so that I can see what you're talking about and see if I can get a video out on that. Like I said, I have lots and lots of videos, especially the shorter ones on TikTok, going into the spiritual awakening and different declares and stuff like that, as well as I'm going to be doing more workshops on that, because I feel that it's so necessary and people need to understand and know that they can use their spiritual gifts in everyday life. It's not just people that you that read energy, or people that read cards, or people that do tarot, or people that are astrologers or mediums or whatever. You can use these same gifts in your everyday life, in your job, with your kids, all kind of ways. And so that is something that I am exploring here this year, because that's something that I really feel called to talk about. So again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate your time. Thank y'all for joining me, and I hope that your day is magical, that the rest of your day is magical. Thank you, Dr. Marnie, for joining me, and I appreciate that. And if you will want to check out my website, it is tammyymorrison.com. And it is, I have all types of stuff on there. We still have a couple of books that are coming forth. I have this book on the grandmothers that I am looking for people to come and help us write, so that we can share some positivity and share some beautiful stories about that part of our ancestry, our grandmothers, because mine was amazing, and I definitely am sharing a story on her. So far, I think we have 3 or 4 people that have committed to sharing their stories. And so I'm looking for probably about 4 to 5 more people to share their stories on Passing the Pearls, which is the name of the story that we're going to write about the grandmothers. So again, thank you so much for joining. I truly do appreciate and love all of you. And I hope that your day is magical, whatever day it is that you're listening to this. And make sure that you comment in the comments and tell me, what hit for you. I really appreciate that, because I love the conversations. And if you're on Facebook, you can also send me stars. So again, thank you so much for joining. I hope that your day is well. Bye now.